is being done on the fly, but we do have both players live, and we have not revealed the seed yet, so here is your seed for today. 19E431 will be your seed. Okay, you're gonna change. You only just to change it to Felix. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I took a good guess here. I figured it was just Felix, but it's good to know for sure. You know, I want to make sure that I'm calling everyone by their preferred names and pronouns. So if there's anything along those lines that you wish to share with me, let me know. I'm happy to accommodate. So. Let me see if I can go find my... There it is. I had some stats pulled up for these players. So, hey, I saw Ravalo's face for just a moment. We were graced with a nose, a forehead, and some hair. Almost face cam. Well, we do have a ready though from Ravalo, so I think we're just kind of waiting here for Felix. Okay, nerdy. Felix is going to grab something real quick, so we have a little bit more time here. But yeah, this is a cracked group here. Supposedly, I'm set to face off against Ravalo in Das League, and I have concerns. Let's just say about my odds. In theory, our PBs are similar, but I think in practice his comp is much more solid than mine. I don't qual in at near my PB every single time. So the fact that Ravalo qualled in at 754 and Felix at 789 is just insane. This is the state of TNP now. So yeah, you're fine. Keyboard cam, face cam, we're good to go. I am happy to help you out in any way works for you. The most important thing is you play your best and have fun. Okay, we had already across the board from both of our players. Fast lane round number 1 between Felix and Ravalo is kicking off. Who will start their journey to CTL with a win? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Stencil's looking good from both sides. That's an encouraging start. Well, I hope you're all having a good, what is it today, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday here in the States, in the Americas, I should say. So happy Tuesday. And for those of you maybe a little bit farther away from the States, maybe it's flipped over to Wednesday where you're at. Happy Wednesday, if so. The weather in my area of the country is pretty nice, almost as nice as these stacks. I say just as Ravalo has a little bit of cleanup to do here. Nothing too dangerous. Looks like keyboard dassing Ravalo. I don't know what Felix is doing. You know what? I can go look at my stats and I can let you know. On your left, Ravalo. 354 with a PB of 890,000 and an NTSC 19 PB of 646,000. DAS player out of Mexico. So that is Ravalo. That 300 yards, 750, so just 150 off your PB. Incredible qual. And not too far behind was Felix, though. Felix, a roller with a 1.146 million PB, nearly a 1.119 start out of the Philippines. So is a DAS versus roll matchup between these two very solid TNP players. 150,000 now for Felix, 87,000 for Ravalo, as Ravalo is off to a little bit of a slow start, but you know what? Clean right now. I'm going to go ahead and just keep the board low and manageable. Going to play some safe Tetris. Don't want to early top. In what is probably one of the biggest competitions of their young Tetris career. I am sure the number one goal here is to just not have early tops, right? This board getting a little unwieldy though for Ravalo right now. 116,000 to 198 for Felix. Oh no, Ravalo needing some good pieces now, is still able to dash over everything, but wow, this board is very dependent. Gonna want to get a bar, does get it all the way to the right. Wow, second bar goes right. Doesn't quite get that square over, and we're right back in it just as it was about to be cleared out. 127,000. This is still a manageable board, but will the pieces bless Ravalo? And will not. 128 will not be enough, as Felix is going to take game number one. It is 1-0. Felix starting off this fast lane match with a win. GG's. Yes, Felix rolls. Yes, the 3-2 chess. The board kind of got a little high for Felix too. Looked like a natural top there, but still more than enough points to take game number one. Keyboard roller to be specific. Gotcha. Okay. Nice. Hey, use whatever you got, right? Use whatever you got. Get good. You can get good with whatever tools you got. Consoles are expensive here. So I'd say, I was going to say for seeds, basically increment. If you guys want to re-roll, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume increments. So your seed should be 2A. I think 2A. So we have a ready from Ravalo. And a ready from Felix. That means we are set for game number two. Can Ravalo bring this to even, or will Felix take a commanding 2-0 lead? Let's find out in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Once again, what is at stake here? What is TNP Fastlane? Well, it is basically the best of the best in TNP, a prestigious tournament where the winner of said tournament automatically gets a promotion into CTL Div 5. And if you're here, you obviously are aware of CTL. So these players, by and large, everyone who makes the bracket is usually CTL worthy, and they just have to fight it out to see who will actually make it to CTL. So this is round one. Winner of this gets to face the number one seed Mikaway. Ravalo rather, really wanting a bar. This board getting a little rough already. Oh my goodness, 7,000 points. What happened to Felix here? Okay, fortunately for you, Ravalo, Felix never got started. So we're going to reset. Go ahead and increment your seed. It's going to be 3B. Wow, Ravalo dodging a bullet there. Felix never really got a chance to start, so we're going to go to 3B, E4, 3, 1. And we'll go ahead and get this one kicked off once again. This is game number two. Take two in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. But yeah, I have a soft spot for this tournament. I strive to be in it whenever it comes around. I've made the cut once, lost in the first round, and I don't know, I just really love this tournament. I think it's great to see some of the newer, younger, not me young, but you know, usually it's newer, younger players that make it in. Although Rory representing us.
Step up your 8 game with the Galaxy A37 and A57 5G. Smooth gaming, awesome intelligence, nightography, and all-day battery. Get yours today.
Old Unks still in the bracket. The number 6 seed will have to face the number 2 seed Max in round number 2 in the semifinals. One of these two players will face off against Mickaway, I believe a young British man who's now a max outer as well. Actually was in CTL and was relegated back down to TNP and looking to get back the fast route, aka through fast lane. So that's who these players have to face off against, and all our players got like 300 or 750 qual scores or better. So quite the talent here in TNP. I believe both players are in gold right now. Maybe not. Let me go check out here the channel that I was just in with them. Felix and Ravalo are labeled gold, so they are both gold level players. There's a dirty Tetris there, center. We'll call him 3, 1 off the bottom for Felix. That is a, what do you want to call that, a row 2 Tetris, I guess? Felix not willing to do the Aki bar, just going to go ahead and keep throwing those bars left, playing it safe. Is doing pushdown points currently at 193,000, 175,000 for Ravalo. A little bit of a hole there. Perfect resolve there with that L piece, and then gets clean, gets the bar in the Tetris. Now up to 223 to 179. So Ravalo having the best start of his 3 starts so far. Yes, you heard that right. There were 3 starts, one false start and 2 real games. 269, hey now for Felix. 226, 941, hey now for Ravalo. That's 2 hey nows. That means the hey now counter is at 2. I haven't really done a hey now counter in a long minute. Really, I kind of reserve it for my personal streams and for CTL super streams, and I haven't done really either very much lately, so it is kind of weird. Maybe I should retire the gimmick, right? I don't know. It used to be a Kingsman's gimmick, and then he retired it, and somehow I accidentally took it over. I don't know. I don't know how this works. My goodness. Ravalo starting to close the gap a little bit, 259 to 299. We are at roughly 75 lines, so neither of these... Oh, well, Felix kind of on 500k pace right now. If Toast were here, I'm sure he would try to extrapolate it down to the, I don't know, hundreds of points or something. As Toast does. 325 at line 83, so this is a good pace for Felix. Ravalo looking to just try to get clean. Does get the longbar for that longbar dependency now. We'll see if he tries to build for our column 9. Nope, just going to go ahead and take the triple. Down we go. Ravalo at 317, 88 lines, 351 at line 90. I feel like so have both players been pushing down. I feel like I've seen Felix pushing down, and I don't feel like I've been seeing Ravalo push down, but the line count's awful similar. I don't know. 382 to 325 though. These players have certainly kind of warmed up, gotten a hold of how they're stacking, playing pretty clean, not getting into a whole lot of trouble. Exact kind of play that you would expect to see from players who have played a fair bit of comp and has done it relatively competently, might say. Competently, get it? Oh my gosh. Who's letting this guy on the stream? Oh my gosh. 398, 475, so Felix was able to whip that bar over to column 1, no problem. Rolling Just casual rolling things. Ravalo gonna try to get clean here. It is 402,000 to 481, so this is about a 4 Tetris lead for Felix. $504,000 now at line 129, so we are about to hit transition. Misses the spin. Felix with a little bit of dirty board, but great pieces. Oh no! Oh my goodness, those 2 L's not getting over where Felix was hoping, and now that's going to be a top out. 507,000. This is a chase down for Ravalo, who's got a nice low board. We'll have to maintain some, we'll call it composure for this chase down. Needs to get to 508, currently at 460, so needs a little less than 50,000. Can potentially line this out. There is enough runway here with just line out strats for the chase down, or could not do that. You know, that is up to the player, but there are certainly options on the board. Is going to go ahead and set up, and does get that J all the way left. Tetris 491. Ravalo is going to just play, well, I don't say aggressive, but, you know, still taking a lot of burns, but certainly isn't afraid to set up for it if the pieces are friendly enough. This is looking like a burn shaped board right now. Could now begin maybe starting to set up for it. Gonna go and just keep these burns going. 506 needs one more burn. That is enough. 508,000. Ravalo will take game number 2 and even it out 1-1. Great game from both players. GG's. Hey, what's up, Rory? I was just referencing you, saying you're representing us old fellas here. Practically a fast lane mainstay, has almost always been good enough to get into fast lane almost every season for what feels like years at this point. Has almost won it several times. So it'll be fun to see. I think Rory may be scoping out the competition. All right, so I think it was 2, 3. This would be 4. Yeah, I think it's at 4 now. 4D. All right, we have it ready from both of our players. It is time for game number 3. Let's get this kicked off in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Away we go. It's best of 5 is now a best of 5, but only at most 3 games. Yeah, you know, Vandy, he does that thing. He always wants a best of 5s, now a best of 3 or whatever. And I mean, yeah, kind of. Still best of 5, but you know. I get what he's trying to say, but I like to still kind of riff on it every once in a while just because, I don't know, it's easy. It's easy to tease each other or make silly jokes about, I don't know, random. What else are we going to do? Talk about this Tetris? Because you know what? This Tetris is actually looking pretty good right now. 71,000 to 54,000. Felix, once again, off to an early lead, has done so pretty much every game so far. Has been Ravalo kind of trying to play catch up, but obviously certainly worked in his favor last game. Felix with a little bit of a steep board in the middle. Oh, I love that adjustment. That was absolutely sick last second adjustment from Felix and made that board parity look so good. 126,000 to 83,000 here. Felix really happy right now with the way things are going and looking. Ravalo has to be pretty pleased too. Currently just down 2 Tetrises, also with a good looking board. Has maybe taken a few more burns, but has otherwise played very solid Tetris so far. Very good comp from Ravalo. We just saw a pair of 500K games last game, and transition games from both as well. So we'll hope to see more of that, as we know both these players are capable of pushing well into the 700s, as they both did so in their quals. 175,000 to 242. So Ravalo, really, I've been watching Ravalo's game here.
Step up your A game with the Galaxy A37 and A57 5G. Smooth gaming, awesome intelligence, nightography, and all-day battery. Get yours today.
No real mistakes to speak of. Very clean Tetris. It's just that Felix has been a little more efficient, has been kind of building a little bit more aggressively, and so far hasn't really been punished for it. There's a square hang right now, but that's kind of a bit of a Vitz. Could resolve with another long bar. Goes ahead and starts to fill it in with several other pieces. Square would have been perfect. Good T-spin setup instead. So once again, Felix looking very confident in how high, and I don't want to say aggressive, but how efficient the stack is getting here. This is a little bit of a risky stack right here. Multiple tucks set up there. Tetris, nothing too crazy though. Currently 317 to 227. So this lead has grown to been about, we'll say 4 to 5 Tetrises. Felix more than happy to just go ahead and line spin and set up tucks, and well, I guess that wasn't a line spin, but that was still a spin. Good flat burns here. Did have to do maybe a little bit more burning than he preferred, but still with a good 323,000 at line 81. So certainly again on that 500K pace for transition. Ravalo at line 75, so actually is behind the line count. This lead maybe not as big as it seems, as Ravalo is at 287, 334. So that would on paper be about a 3 Tetris difference, but there's also about a 9 line difference. So it could be, relatively speaking, even when we're talking about pace. I would still probably give Felix the slight edge here with that as well, because you got to think there's some burns that happen in those 9 lines. 315 to 361. A little bit of a dirty board here. Felix not going to be able to Tetris for a little while and try to get this cleaned up. There's going to be at least about a 5-line solve, potentially more, depending on how the pieces go. Now, once a long bar does get the long bar, and it will be closer to an 8 or line 9 solve now. There's going to be 3 more burns, 2 more to go. And there you go. Now clean. Going to start setting up for another Tetris. 393, 346. Ravalo down about 12 lines. We are past the turn. About 10 more lines of transition for Felix. So that 500K pace has fallen off a little bit. Ravalo at 111 lines right now. 375. So again, looking to try to get in around the mid 400s, I would say. Currently at line 115, line 125, 10 line difference. Felix 1 burn away or 1 more Tetris, depending on how this board is handled. Snowy, wish my comp was looking this good. Oh, hush you. I do too, to be fair. Like I feel like my comp hasn't really ever kind of come back, even though I'm unretired from comp for a little bit. We'll see though. Maybe things will heat up for both of us. 445, 475. So Felix into 19, and oh my goodness, these placements not ideal. Also, the piece is not ideal either. But oh, there we go, perfect J for Felix to try to bring this board down. Oh, casual rolling things. What the heck? Wonderfully handled there for Felix. Did not panic in the least. And the perfect pieces to uncover this last hole. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Felix is happy with the way this board is looking now. Should be good for now. 500,000. Ravalo, in the meantime, has the lead for just a second. Is still behind the line count. 143, 504 to line 164, 530. So Felix, oh no, Ravalo can't get that bar over. and then just concedes the game. Oh my goodness, it was looking like it was gonna be a nail biter until the loss of Das just spelled doom, and just like that, it's over. That is classic Tetris at its most classic moments right there. And it's just over. Felix, good for game number 3. GG's. Losing Das sucks. Had the bar, but just couldn't get that over. Unfortunate. That stack was beautiful too. 5 high on the right, 6 high on the left. It was a little flat, which is probably what, you know, made things feel a little more panicky, but, you know. Still, that was a beautiful stack. Great game once again. That is 4 500,000s in 4 games in the last 2, well, I guess you call it games. Oh my goodness. Felix is cold right now. Dude, whenever I compete, it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer, my hands get really cold. I think it has something to do with nerves. Even if I'm not like super nervous, I'm still just kind of nervous, and those nerves can still manifest as having cold hands, which is annoying. I can sympathize. Try to stay warm. You want to keep yourself nice and warm for some hot Tetris action right here on this classic Tetris League. Especially on one day. Oh my goodness. Shout out Pumpy Heart for the one-day tournaments that he runs. Alright, we're just waiting for ready from Ravalo, and we can get game number 4 kicked off. Felix is on game point. Ravalo looking to even it up. Let's see what happens here. It's game number 4 in 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Once again, for those of you who are joining in a little late, this is TNP Fast Lane. It is the most prestigious tournament that TNP has. The winner of this tournament goes to CTL, and only 6 players are allowed to participate. So a bunch of people qual, and only the top 6. And this year, that top 6 was, or this season, those top 6 were historically good. The number 6 seed getting in at 733,000, that was Rory. In some seasons, that's enough to be first. But that is barely squeaking in this time, that top score being Mikaway with 873,000. And in between all that, you had an 857, 842. Felix had a 789. Ravalo had a 754. So this is quite the capable group. All of them playing well enough to certainly make it into CTL. All that's left to figure out now is who will actually get there. 101,000 for Ravalo. Felix currently on game point at 68,000. So for once, for the first time this whole set, Ravalo starting off with the lead. And with Felix burning, can potentially build on this lead as well. I really am enjoying watching Ravalo's, we'll call it stacking choices, willing to take burns to keep the stack relatively low. That left side, though, becoming a little bit of a troublesome board. Okay, perfect pieces there to resolve. Now would like a long bar, or could try to plug it with something else. Yeah, gonna go ahead and plug it with a J and bring this down. Beautifully done. Ravalo not being patient, but not too patient. But this is a bit of a burn situation, 115,000. So in that time, Felix has retaken the lead, 145,000. Both players are around the 100 or around the 50 line mark, which is not quite halfway to transition. We have had some very high level Tetris here. Both players have made to transition last game. Both players have gotten 500k last game and the game before as well. So these players can't just rely on their opponent just topping out and then chasing it down. At least not before 19, it appears. One exception being game number 1, where Ravalo had a little bit of an early top. And that's been it. That's really been it. Ravalo got those warm-ups done, as Martz would say. And now playing some very solid competitive Tetris here. Not quite set up for a oh my goodness. Gonna go for that very aggro Aki bar. Did in fact get the bar soon after though, so was not punished. Well played from Ravalo. 200,000, 228 for Felix. 10 line difference though, so the pace lead belongs to Ravalo. The real-time lead still belongs to Felix, which is the one that matters, you know, because your opponent can just top out and you're going to win regardless if you're in the pace lead or not. So
step up your 8 game with the Galaxy A37 and A57 5G. Smooth gaming, awesome intelligence, nightography, and all-day battery. Get yours today.
McMonkey819 in chat says, I've heard a bunch of references to TNP, but I've been hesitant to jump in. What is the typical time commitment to the leagues? So TNP, Tetris for non-pros, it plays very similar to what you see in CTL here. So if you've been watching some CTL, you should know it's basically, you know, pod based. You play everyone in your pod, in your group, whatever you want to call it. And it really kind of depends on how many people sign up for the division that you are capable of playing in. So I'm a gold player, for instance, and, you know, I'd say probably once every 3 to 4 weeks, there's probably enough for a gold div to get formed, which we require 4 players for a div to be formed, at which point you have about a month to play all your opponents. Usually, if it's a 4-player div, you play each opponent twice, so it would be 6 total games at 4, 8 for 5, 10 for 6, etc., etc. So usually you end up doing your double sets all at once so that you can have some more time to play Tetris and also not split it up. But you are welcome to split it up if you want. So the time commitment, I would say it depends on how much you want to dedicate to warm-ups and that kind of thing. But I would say no more than probably 1 to 2 hours a week would be all you really need to dedicate to TNP. It is not that time intensive, all things considered, and especially if you have a small div, you won't spend a whole lot of time. And you will find that in TNP, compared to CTL, that our players are enthusiastic to get going and get playing. So you will be able to schedule your matches pretty quickly, and you will probably be able to find something that will accommodate your schedule. We've got restreamers from all over the world, so they've been doing a great job in making sure that, you know, you have your referee, your restreamer, your commentator, whatever you want to call us. So you can get covered that way too. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to go. Speaking of highly encouraged, these players highly encouraged that they're about to get to transition. Felix in at 450 something. Gonna get a Tetris to go to 481 level 20. Ravalo now just about to get there. One more burn will do it. Will they go for the Tetris, or just gonna burn in? Gonna go and just burn in 418. So a little bit behind here. Only about 2 Tetrises though. Oh, that last second shift there from Ravalo, I think maybe a little bit of indecision. Does not get punished for it though. Well handled from Ravalo. Going to go ahead and just take that triple. Keep the board nice and low. Ravalo is a dash player, so it is a little bit of a disadvantage when you're playing a roller who can get the pieces everywhere. You just got to try to stay alive and take your chances as you get them. And it looks like he might be getting them here soon, as Felix is in a bit of a dig. 500,000 to 436. 2 games per week? I mean, you can if you want, but I mean, I've seen a lot of players, you know, take longer than that. So it's kind of at your own pace. You get about a month to do them, so it's not too bad, really. And there's grace periods for extenuating circumstances, so it's not like, you know, if there's something that comes up, oh my goodness, Ravalo, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but either way, does manage to get the board clean. 470 to 539. This is another really great game between these two players. We're going to see 6 500k games in 6 games total between these two, so that's pretty crazy. 477, 478 now. Ravalo just taking the burns, keeping the board low. Gonna go ahead and take those Tetrises if they present, but more importantly, just trying to stay alive, not going with anything too aggressive. Trying to stay in those first 5 or so lines as a dash player. those are kind of that's your safety net. Those are relatively easy to get to. You get above that, then you start looking for very specific pieces to try to make sure you can get pieces left and right, like that square. That was a beautiful center roll setup from Ravalo, though. 516 to 572. Felix, as well as Ravalo's playing Felix right now, just staying calm, keeping the board in great shape. And there's another Tetris. Is ahead in the line count, 206 lines to 186 lines. So the 613 to 525 still kind of favoring Ravalo. Unfortunately for Ravalo, though, you top out, you lose. So you gotta keep on pace. You gotta keep pushing a little bit while also not topping out. We are pushing the end of the level 19 speeds, though, and I don't know if Felix can play a kill screen or not. We know for sure Ravalo, as a DAS player, will not be able to score too much. So there is a time limit left here for Ravalo to try to get all the points possible in these last 3 levels. 545 to 633. This board getting a little high for Ravalo. Good double there. Once again, bringing this board back down. 636 for Felix. This board is actually quite high, but again, as a roller, this is less scary of a board. It just means that there's no scoring happening. Although there's also not much time left, as Felix is about to hit kill screen. Will it be a natural top out or will it be a kill screen? Kill screen, 642. That is your chase down target. Ravalo needs to get to 642, currently at 563, has 14 lines to do it. Gonna set up for center well here. Gets one into 28. 599, needs to get basically 2 more Tetrises, or Tetris and some good triples would also probably do it. Gonna set up one more time here. Trying to wait for the right piece. All right, gets the right piece. Where is the bar? Where is the bar? Still holding out. Didn't decide to take that triple, and the bar never comes. Ravalo had an opportunity there to take a good, clean triple or double. Opts not to try to keep that Tetris well open, and the bar never comes. And just like that, it's over once again. This time, it takes over 600,000 to secure the win in another fantastic game between these two, but it is going to be Felix who will be your winner. In a hard-fought match, Ravalo, you have nothing to be ashamed of. That was a great battle. GG's. But it is Felix as your winner. Congratulations to Felix. Let me go ahead and get this reported real quick.